Hey guys, welcome back to Letters from the Principal podcast. You are tuning in to season 2, episode 5, Mom MD. I'm your co-host Mary Almonte, and I'm going to kick it over to Des White to let you know what we're about to talk about.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 5. Today is an episode that is near and dear to my heart. I feel that African American children do not get properly seen in the medical system. I feel like African Americans as a whole, from the mom down to the child that she birthed, if we want to go all the way there, but we won't.
Preach.
We're going to keep it here, okay? Today, our guest is a Brooklyn native, a publicist extraordinaire, Tavia MD is her company. Tavia is her name. And her son was suffering from something, and she knew that something was wrong. So not only did she make the doctors work and do their job, she made sure that her son was properly cared for. And I'm going to kick it to Kim to start the conversation.
Thank you. Thanks, Des. And hi to everybody. This topic is also one that is near and dear to my heart as well, because I like to Google diagnose everything when it comes to myself and my kids. But I have found that is very helpful when you go into the doctor's office and you tell them what you think it is. Some doctors are annoyed, right? Some doctors will welcome what you're saying, and it kind of puts them on point to let them know that you've done your homework. So even when you're wrong with the Google diagnosis, they have to justify why you're wrong. So no, it's not that, because, and it, allows you to have a different type of conversation. So I also am excited about this topic because, and I have a whole lot of stories when it comes to like taking my kids to the doctor. I have 3 kids. As you guys know, I always talk about my 3 kids. I have been to the doctor many times, starting from when my 24-year-old was very young until now. Now I'm taking my girls to the gynecologist. That's a whole other episode, right? But I will open up the floor because I definitely want to talk to our guest, Tavia, and get her perspective and hear more about her story, because that's why we're here today. So
thank you, ladies, for having me.
Yes,
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. So tell me, Tavia,
Mm-hmm.
give us a little bit of your backstory as a mother. First, let us know how many kids you have, what your experience has been like in the medical system, and we can get into this topic.
Sure. So I am a mother of 2. My kids are actually 18 years apart.
Wow.
So my daughter is 28 and my son is 10. They're both Aquariuses, so
I'm an Aquarius.
Yes,
my son's an Aquarius.
January 25th and February 13th. He was actually supposed to be due on Valentine's Day, so we still call him our love child because he was born a couple hours early.
My daughter's birthday is Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know about it being a love child, but continue. That's another episode.
We call him definitely our love child. He's definitely the king of the castle. He gets his way all the time, especially with the age difference. And I started out in communications. Like when I got out of college, I was working at the Sprints, the Verizons. I was always in customer service, always in management. And I just simply stopped wanting to get dressed to go to work and be in those uniforms. So I actually started working for Time Warner Cable, intermittent of doing events around the cities. So I've connected with a lot of people, like I said, that you've known back in the day, Daytwan, and all the guys used to come to my spots in the city. I used to do party promotions for Strata. All the spots. Self was actually one of my DJs back in the day. So from then, I started connecting with just a lot of executives because that's when, everybody's doing reality TV. Danny Kane used to come and sing happy birthday at Strata and things of that nature. So I started basically interacting with a lot of, the booking managers, the managers, the publicists who bring the talent in. And one of them was like, "Oh, you should be a publicist." And I was like, What the hell is a publicist?" Like, I had never in life. I went to St. Francis College, so communications was a big thing, but it was only in reference to this media, media and correspondence. So there was nothing at that time that even divulged publicity. So one day, just getting off, you're always getting off at like 3:00 in the morning in that car ride home. I'm a Googler too. So I Googled what a publicist was. And I was like, wow, I guess in essence I could. And then the person who legitimately told me what happened to be an executive over at Def Jam. And she was like, hey, Tavia, you should look it up. You should get your certifications, whatever. Because at that time, it was really just certifications. Like, you had to take, like, classes and be certified to be a publicist. There was no actual, like, I want to say, like, a dedicated, like, a journalism degree or like things of that nature.
Now where they have, like, masters.
Now there's actually masters in publicity, which just shows how far, the profession has come. Before, it was literally you went online, you took an 8-week course, and you got a certification, and that was it.
In publicity? I've never known that.
Yeah, it was art of pitching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Art of networking with the media. Right. It was very, I would say, mundane, knowing all that I know about the profession now. But it was like I said, it was just literally an 8-week course. And she was like, after you get certified, I'd be willing to basically mentor you, walk you through. So I would go to Def Jam every day, sit in the office with her for like 6 months. She would show me how to put together a press run, show me how to do all the things, show me how to organize my media contacts and the genres and things of that nature.
Who was this?
Huh?
Who was this that you were working with at Def Jam?
Oh, it was Anna.
Oh, okay.
So we're sitting there and doing that every day. And KB Brown was there. He was another person that was in charge of all of the interns. And I was bothering Steve Carlos in his office all the time. All the time, walking around going, hey, Steve. Bothering him inside. So that's basically what I did. And then I took my first hip hop client, took him around. Again, I had known everybody because they would always like Anna said, come to my club. So I already knew who everyone was in the industry at that time. I was with, I knew Sean Malcolm. I knew all of the guys, Jerry Barrow, everybody who was writing, because they all would catch those celebrities at my clubs to interview them. So it was more or less putting that Rolodex together and, putting it together so I could do my own press runs. And then after I did that, I left. I took my first official client and kicked off.
Wow.
And I was doing it part-time because I still wasn't doing it full-time, because at the end of the day, I have asthma and a sister need a pump every month. I'm like, insurance is not for the weak. The insurance, my asthma pump at that time was like $500 if I did not have insurance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode. I didn't know that was.
If I did not have insurance. And then another episode is I'm always trying to push new medications on me because I'm a Black woman who's asthmatic. So it'd be, every time I came to the doctor, it was like, oh, you should try this new medication. And I would Google it no
thanks.
I'm not just going to take, your experiment. But either way, again, another episode.
Were you already a mom when you were, or was this pre-kids?
No, I had my daughter.
Okay.
I had my daughter 11th grade.
Oh.
Graduated from Boys and Girls High School, went to St. Francis with her on my hip, graduated from St.
Francis. Brooklyn, Boys and Girls.
Yeah, went to Boys and Girls High School. Graduated from St. Francis College with a degree in financial accounting because I always knew I wanted to have a business some way. And I think that's the year I graduated that everybody went to jail for tax fraud. That was when Lauren went to jail. That was when Joe went to jail. That was when they were chasing Wesley.
Wow.
They would, because they never, they were trying to catch him. Everybody, my finance teacher, Dr. Gomori, used to make us read the Wall Street Journal and all that. And they were in the paper every day. Lauryn Hill going to jail for a year for tax fraud. Joe, everybody going to jail. So I was like, obviously you need somebody else, you need to have some knowledge because I need to be able to check my books.
Right.
I can't just trust this person.
Yeah.
I got to know what the checks and the balances is. So that's what led me to financial accounting.
Well, shout out to you for doing all that and being a mom already. That's crazy and impressive. So, yeah.
So then, like I said, from there, I became a publicist, was still doing it part-time, fell in love, met my man. And, and, when we were going through, just being in a relationship, falling in love, getting pregnant with our son, finding out he's doing Valentine's Day, was all written in the stars. And we, progressed with our relationship. We got married in 2017 when our son was about, I want to say going on 3 years old, because he's born in 2015, so like 2.5. But, just as a mom, consistently, you compare your child, like you watch.
Right.
Yeah.
You watch.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, I need to do some mommy and me classes because Hunter's sister is literally 18 years, because it was like literally one in, one out.
Right.
My son was born and my daughter was leaving for college.
Wow.
Right.
So
What
she
was that like? Can we just, not to sidetrack us too much, but
breaking.
yeah.
Heartbreaking. I cried for like the first 2 weeks of my daughter not being it, because she was my person.
Right.
I was
Right.
with her every single day. Like, I had gotten into other colleges where I could have gone away, and I was it was like I always feel like God gives you messages, and I always look for the signs. So it was one day I was sitting on my stoop, I'll never forget it, and I had a friend on the block, and her son was calling her by her first name and her mother mom.
Wow.
And I was like, I never want that. I
Right.
always want my daughter to know that I am her mom.
Right.
And I never want her to look up or feel like I wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't go away. I went downtown Brooklyn, like right there.
Right.
It's 30 minutes
Right.
away from the
Right.
crib. So when, my daughter left, like she had, like I said, been my person. I call her the upgrade, because she just does everything better than me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She has a combination of me, of course, but she's put her spin on it. And like I said, I call her the upgrade because I don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
If I say, yo, I want the house clean and da-da-da, not only is my house going to be clean, dinner's going to be made, it's going to actually make taste better, because she knows how to follow recipes. I'm old school. I'm seasoning with the sense of God's.
Right.
I'm not following measurements,
Yeah.
the way, everybody does now.
Yeah. My daughter's a better cook than me also. So I feel you.
She can follow recipes. Like I can't. I can look at it, but I'm not about the step by step. I'm going to scroll through it really quickly. And because I've been literally cooking since I could look over a stove, I'm just going to go and do it.
Right.
Whereas she's going to, make sure all the measurements are correct. So when she moved out, it was definitely a lot for me.
Yeah.
Because, my husband, he didn't have any children before. So he's a first-time dad.
Right.
He's learning the ropes. And I'm technically feeling like a first-time mom. And the support is just different.
Yeah. And when
When I
you
had
have
my
such a
daughter-
gap, it
yeah.
does feel like you literally are
Starting over.
starting
again.
over again. Like
because
it is
I
like a
still
first
lived at
time.
home,
Yeah.
I still lived at home, and I have 2 younger sisters that are 7 and 9 years younger than me. Like, my baby sister is my daughter's best friend. So like they were always together. It was never kind of like a rhyme or reason of who's gonna pick up Precious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was never that. Now is, oh shit, like I don't have anybody who's gonna get
Right.
my son, who's gonna hang out with him. And so that's why, like I said, I started doing the mommy and me classes to give him some interaction with other kids.
Yeah.
Because at the time he was gesturing, but he wasn't like talking.
Right.
So were the mommy and me classes the first time you started to sense that something was wrong?
Well, no. So it was him not talking at the same, like I said, in comparison.
Right.
In comparison to my daughter, like my daughter had all her teeth at a certain age. Like Hunter had hit a lot of the milestones.
Right.
But in the communication sector, he was not.
Got it.
Right.
So immediately people would dispel it. Oh, boys develop slower than girls.
I was just going to
That's the
say
myth.
that. I was going to say
boys
that.
develop slower than girls, and my son didn't start talking to this, and maybe it's because he's not around any children, and it was like a light bulb. Like, yes, of
Right.
course, kids learn from other kids.
Mm.
So let me go, because I don't have any other kids to be around.
Right.
I didn't have any friends who had babies at the same time as me. I was like literally on my own. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the mommy and me classes so he can be around other kids
Mhm.
and he can get that jargon going.
Right.
And then it was very, very shocking, because it's like, wait a minute, they're literally having like full on conversations, whether it's a tantrum, whether
Right.
it's whatever they are, and he's not. And I'm noticing that everybody is choosing to play with each other during circle time, and he's over here with this one toy. And I'm like, you don't want to go over there?
Right.
He's like, And he
Right.
doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to.
But he would
do
communicate
anything.
with you.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
mean, he spent all of his time with me, so
Right.
I would get maybe 1 or 2 words, or if not just gestures, but never a full-on conversation.
Okay.
Like what I was witnessing, I never got.
Okay.
I never got. So when, you go into all of your appointments, you know what I'm saying? I raised this to his pediatrician. Like, hey, I noticed when they were like, oh, well, he's only 2.5.
Right.
He has time. And I'm like, all right, sometimes, I'm leaving it alone or whatever the case is. But then by the next appointment, I think he was 3 at this point. So then it was like, well, look, he's not potty trained. He's not doing this. He's not doing this. I've looked it up. And pulled up all of the the things. I've gauged it, what have you. What are things that could possibly be wrong?
Right.
And when she was listing, she again dispelled it. It was, well, he's a boy. And I'm like, yeah, I understand.
And this is the pediatrician.
This is the
telling you that.
pediatrician.
Okay.
He's
Wow.
a boy. I see boys all the time. I have 2 boys. She went into that background. And I was like, okay, well, hear you, but what could it be?
Right.
What's happening? I don't want to assume.
So at 3, let me just ask you this. At
Yeah.
3 years old, he was he saying sentences,
Nope.
words, nothing?
He was saying maybe 2-letter words.
2-letter words.
So like,
at 3.
eat now.
Right. And that, yeah.
Come here.
Yes. Okay.
Need you. Or, mommy, please.
Right.
But it wasn't full
Right.
Sentences,
at
right.
3. Not
Right.
even partial. And, like I said, you're looking up. I'm doing all the things. We watching Sesame Street every day. Where, I'm reading to him every day.
Shout out to Sesame Street for
Love
being
Sesame
like
Street.
the
Yeah.
best
First of
sort
all,
thing
shout out to
help.
PBS
Right.
as a
Right.
whole.
Kids.
Because at the end of the day, if not for those programming,
Absolutely.
reading to him, telling
Yes.
him stories. I used to sit him in his high chair and he'd be watching Super Y and,
Yeah.
putting the letters together, vowels, all of those things.
Right.
So definitely shouts to PBS.
Yeah, they really help show you where
Yeah.
your child should be. And obviously with all of
Mhm.
the resources we have,
Mhm.
right? As a mom, whether you're a new mom or, an experienced mom, you're going online and you're measuring,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, 1-year-olds have this sort of milestone. 2, this is what
It
my
literally
kids
has a
should be
grid.
doing.
Mhm.
There's
Right.
literally a grid online. It
Right.
tells you what your child should literally be doing from the time they are born
Right.
up until 3. Literally every month. It says your child should
Right.
be doing these things. It should be turning on their stomach.
Right.
They should be holding their head. Like literally every single thing
Right.
is
It's there.
Right.
It's there.
It's there. So, like I said, when he wasn't doing, I asked her, I was like, so what else could it possibly be? And she curiously threw out autism.
Right.
And I had never heard of autism, like, at all. When I was growing up, you were
Hyper.
needed
a beating.
needed to sit your ass down.
Exactly.
Excuse me for cursing.
No,
sit your
we
butt
curse
down
here.
from there.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
you were in special ed.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There were never any real diagnosis or conversations
Mm-hmm.
as to what qualified you to even be in
Being
special ed.
Totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
Being totally okay and then just special ed, that is such a far.
Mm.
It's like, you're fine or you're not.
Right.
R word.
Right. We can't use that word.
Yeah, you're fine. Or
All my
you're
kids
special
hate when I
needs.
use it.
Right.
So I keep
So then
calling them
again,
that.
what you do?
Yeah.
I had never heard of autism. What you do? You go online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking it up.
Mhm.
You're doing the now famous questionnaire.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, he does. So now the next appointment, I'm saying, all right, look, I went online, I did the questionnaire, and it does look like a lot of the things that are there, he's exhibiting.
Right.
What do we do next? And they're like, well, he's really young. We have to wait. What are we waiting for? Oh, because we normally don't try to diagnose autism in children until they get to about almost 5 years old. I said, but then his brain is fully developed. So why can't we catch
Start
this
now.
earlier? Because right now, what you're doing now is a disservice. Maybe I do understand, and I've read there are different levels of spectrum
Mhm.
for all autistic children.
Right.
Why are we waiting? Maybe, because he was, in my mind, functioning the way the grids said he should function before now.
Right.
So why wait? Why are we waiting? And she wouldn't listen to me. So I literally just kept bothering her. Oh, we need to do that. What's the test? They said we need to do this test. Okay, well, how do I get the referral? Can we get the referral, or do I need to change doctors?
Right.
Because I need this done. I
Mhm.
need this done now. I'm not waiting for you 5 years old. I'm not waiting for 2 years for you to confirm what we've talked about 2 years ago. That's not how this is gonna work. And I literally kept bothering her until
Right.
she gave me the referral.
Yeah.
Right.
Got the referral. It was this literal one doctor at Brooklyn Hospital. His paperwork and file system was trash. Completely. But he was the only doctor. Literally took him there. They said he had the gene, because apparently there is a gene for autism.
Wow.
And
well, that's some new information, because
they
I
said
feel
that
like
there's
that's
a gene.
debated a lot.
There's a debate between whether the obscene amount of medication that children get within that first year to year and a
Right,
half
with the vaccines.
more or less develops the gene forward.
Okay.
Which makes it more prevalent, or whether the medication does not.
Right.
I will say that my son personally, I never let him get a bunch of shots.
Right.
I always space them out because
Yeah.
again, with
Same.
my daughter, it's just like that's just too many drugs to be in one shot,
Right.
one person.
And just a really bad day. Like,
yeah, and you're hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is sore.
Yeah,
So
do
I
too.
always spaced them out. So I know for a fact that that's not what caused autism in my son.
Yeah.
Because even with my daughter, when they used to be like, "Oh, coming in, she got 5 shots today," I'm like, "Yeah, so we're gonna do 2, and I'll be back in a few weeks
Yeah,
or
because you
another
gotta
month."
know what the child reacts to. I'll say
Exactly.
another thing, because
Yeah.
I'm a parent who, as a self-employed person,
Yeah.
oftentimes I don't have insurance.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can get in trouble for this, but,
Yeah,
at the
but-
taxes. But
say the truth.
so I've learned more
Mm-hmm.
about the medical system not having insurance.
Yes.
So as someone who is insured, when you go in, they just bill you and they just do everything, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like when you have a hospital stay.
Mm-hmm.
You have a hospital stay, you're sitting there, they're coming around, the nurse comes around with the cart and does every single thing that they can bill your insurance for, right? But when
Correct.
you're self-paying, you're like, what is that? I don't need that blood thinner. I'm
Mhm.
good on that. I'm not, well, we don't want you to move around. If you're not moving around, you need a blood thinner. No, I'm going to get up and walk every 10 minutes because I can move around, so I don't need that blood thinner. So they bill you based on when you have insurance for everything, right?
Mhm.
When I take my kids to the doctor and I don't have insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
The doctor is way more he has way more information for me because he knows I'm self-pay. So you're
Mhm.
self-pay? Yes. All right. Well, you don't even really need this vaccine today. So we can
Mhm.
hold off on that. I'll charge you $40 for this shot. They'll
'Cause they
tell
gotta
you.
really explain it now.
Now they have to explain it because you're telling them I'm not paying for all of that. I'm self-pay.
Mm-hmm.
And they take out the things, or they try to help you or work with you to take out the things that your kid may or you may not really need.
Mhm.
Same thing with the medication, right? When they prescribe you medication and they know you're self-pay and you go to CVS and they go, do you have insurance? No. All right, well, I can give you this brand, which is $100 less.
Mm-hmm.
It's the generic brand. It's the same ingredients. So a lot of professionals, they know that they're kind of like falling into the system by recommending certain things to you. But I
Mhm.
mean, that's what it's something that I feel like we don't talk about enough when it comes to this topic of Mom MD.
Mm-hmm.
That really, when you go into the doctor's office, right, and you have insurance, it's supposed to be the best. Everybody has insurance. I have insurance. Just pay for it. You have to still ask the questions about what you're getting and what's necessary, because they're going to give you everything just to bill you.
No, I can agree with that, but like I told you before, I'm a Scorpio. You can't just tell me anything anyway.
Right.
And from a very young age of being an asthmatic, I have always been pushed drugs upon because you know what I'm saying. It was covered, quote
Yeah.
unquote, and things of that nature. So no, you can't just. I'm not one of those people, insurance paid or not. You still got to itemize
Right.
what we talking about. You still got to tell me why.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to convince me
Yeah.
that this is a not a deal breaker.
Right.
Because whether it's covered or not, I'm not doing it.
Right.
And even now, the only reason why, you know what I'm saying, I even went into publicity full time was because my husband has insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I would have never gone into publicity full time because of the fact, like I said, me already having underlying health issues and having a daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you got to itemize and go through things and medical system is the biggest hustle of them all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go and
Amen.
you talk to somebody, like I'll never forget getting my bill after even having my son. I still owed like $15,000 after insurance.
Right.
Wow. Me
After
too.
I had to have an emergency C-section.
For what?
Which is,
The giving birth?
Yes.
Well,
Mine
the
was
hospital-
30 grand and I
Mhm.
had insurance, but I looked at the bill after I had my son. It
Mhm.
was 30. I was in the hospital for 2 days. It was
Mhm.
30 grand. That's how much they billed the insurance.
well, I was there 3, and I had to be there 3 because we got my son circumcised.
Mhm.
And it was after insurance, it
Right.
was 15,000. And what had happened was I was smart enough to get secondary insurance from Medicaid, so the rest of that 15
Was
grand went to
covered.
them.
Yeah.
So I wasn't married yet when I had my son.
Okay.
And so I couldn't be covered under my husband's insurance. It was something. So
You
I got
could've.
Medicaid.
Domestic partnership.
Right.
Shouts to the
Well,
gays.
listen, we didn't do our homework enough. But I got Medicaid or something. But then, I don't know, like it was a lapse in time. So I got hit with the $15,000 bill.
Yeah.
The hospital literally came after me, garnished my pay. It was
Yeah.
like wild. I probably just finished paying for giving birth like 5 years ago
That's
or something.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, no, my husband and I, remember, we didn't get married until my son was like almost 3 years old.
Okay.
So prior to that, when I was 9 months pregnant, because we had been living together, we qualified for domestic partnership.
Mm.
So we went down to the courthouse, got domestic partnership. We were not legally married, but it was a domestic partnership. But because we were domestic partners, I was able to get his insurance.
Yeah.
But I can still carry my own insurance, like I said, because I was pregnant and I got Medicaid.
Yeah. Well, shout out to you for doing your research. We all
Mm-hmm.
need to get like Tavia. But we got to pay some bills real quick. So we will be back with part 2. You better be back too.